So this last one, this is the Crème Brúlée ale. And this was something a little different too. So you probably had like a vanilla cream ale before. And so this is kind of a take on that, except that there is vanilla in it. But the cream part, I use lactose because lactose doesn't ferment. So you'll get some sweetness from lactose. And a lot of cream beers do that. You get, the creaminess and some sweetness from lactose. But I caramelized the lactose first.
Okay.
So put it on the stove and basically burned it to a point where it was red. It's just like sugar. Lactose is white, and so I basically put burnt lactose in there. Crème brûlée. Brûlée is burnt.
Yeah.
So that crunchy top of a crème brûlée, that's the flavor I was going for. So it's you get a little bit of burnt, but with some creaminess, and so that's what this.
Wow.
Heavily carbonated.
Yeah.
Was this your first attempt at that as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, these are home brews at this point. So, they're 5-gallon batches. I came out with, 20 or so of this size bottle. Mostly I share them.
Yeah.
Right.
And you've had some feedback too. You said that this is some folks' favorite
Yeah.
out of the three.
Yeah. I introduced it as not my favorite, and someone came back to me and said that it was his favorite. And he's someone I respect with their opinion, so I had a new opinion of this beer. Like I said, this one's
Wow, that is a lot of head.
yeah.
What's the content on this one?
I can't remember. And this one started out as a little problem brew. I made a couple mistakes with it, but I fixed them in the midst of brewing and before fermentation, and so.
Man, I can smell it from here.
Yeah.
So how long have you been kind of doing home brews and stuff?
I would say less than 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. But I think some of my experience with brewing should be attributed to some of my experience in the kitchen. Brewing beer isn't that much different than cooking soup. In fact, some of the changes that Dogfish Head Brewery has made to the brewing process with their 90-minute IPA was adding the hops continuously.
Yeah.
And that's what chefs do with soup, is they add bittering ingredients continuously throughout to get a more even flavor of the bitter versus the aroma.
Got a really generous pour there.
Yeah. That's all right. That smells really good.
It does. The vanilla is subtle, but I can pick it up.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
I read a lot, and when I'm about to do a new brew, I research different recipes that people have used, the feedback that they had or other people have had from those recipes, and how I would change them to get a little different something out of it. So, while these are my first attempts at these kinds of beer, there's a lot behind it versus just a shot.
Right. Research side.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've reviewed at least half a dozen recipes that were close to each one of those before I came up with the one that I wanted.
Okay.
And so hop combinations and different flavor ingredients and things like that. So there were at least half a dozen vanilla cream or cream ale or vanilla ale recipes that I was researching to come up with one that came out with how I wanted it. And there have been people who have tried burning lactose or caramelizing lactose and adding that to a beer, and they've had success too. And so it was a combination of all of those different things that come into the recipe. and I do my very best to be careful when applying my recipe.
I get sweetness out of it.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, this one is the most dessert beer of the three.
I like the subtleness. I think the vanilla is just right. I've had some vanilla beers that, I mean, they just
Too much?
Yeah,
Yeah.
too much. Definitely sweet.
A lot more carbonated than the rest. You can
Yeah.
tell that.
Yeah.
You can definitely, but creamy.
Yeah, when I got that feedback from my friend Bob that it was his favorite of the three, I had a new respect for it. and I could see how he liked it the best. His favorite beers are Belgian triples and quads. And this one has some of that characteristic of the evenness on the palate, but it obviously has a fair amount of vanilla and that little caramelized flavor from the lactose. But I do like it. And this is the one that I have some left of.
This isn't your last? This isn't your last bottle of this one?
No, I have some more of this one. I have some other folks in St. Genevieve that I need to share this one with.